Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Sleepy Bible Nights. Tonight we drift into the story of Moses, from the Nile to the wilderness, where God leads each step. If you enjoy falling asleep to Scripture, please like and subscribe, and settle in now to rest. Now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali; Gad and Asher. All the souls who came out of the Jacob's body were 70 souls, and Joseph was in Egypt already. Joseph died, as did all his brothers, and all that generation. The children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and grew exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, who didn't know Joseph. He said to his people, "Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply." And it happened that when any war breaks out, they also join themselves to our enemies and fight against us, as in escape out of the land. Therefore, they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens. They built storage cities for Pharaoh, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied, and the more they spread out. They were grieved because of the children of Israel. The Egyptians ruthlessly made the children of Israel serve, and they made their lives bitter with hard service, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field, all their service in which they ruthlessly made them serve. The king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, "When you perform the duty of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, then you shall kill him. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live." But the midwives feared God, and didn't do what the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the baby boys alive. The king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, "Why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive?" The midwives said to Pharaoh, "Because the Hebrew women aren't like the Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes to them." God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very mighty. It happened, because the midwives feared God, that he gave them families. Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, "You shall cast every son who is born into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive." A man of the house of Levi went and took a daughter of Levi as his wife. The woman conceived and bore a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him 3 months. When she could no longer hide him, she took a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and with pitch. She put the child in it and laid it in the reeds by the river's bank. His sister stood far off to see what would be done to him. Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe at the river. Her maidens walked along by the riverside. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her handmaid to get it. She opened it and saw the child. And behold, the baby cried. She had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Should I go and call a nurse for you from the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." The maiden went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." The woman took the child and nursed it. The child grew, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses and said, "Because I drew him out of the water." It happened in those days, when Moses had grown up, that he went out to his brothers and looked at their burdens. He saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his brothers. He looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. He went out the second day, and behold, 2 men of the Hebrews were fighting with each other. He said to him who did the wrong, "Why do you strike your fellow?" He said, "Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you plan to kill me, as you killed the Egyptian?" Moses was afraid and said, "Surely this thing is known." Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and lived in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, he said, "How is it that you have returned so early today?" They said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and moreover, he drew water for us and watered the flock." He said to his daughters, "Where is he? Why is it that you have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." Moses was content to dwell with the man. He gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. She bore a son, and he named him Gershom, for he said, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land." It happened in the course of those many days that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed because of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up to God because of the bondage. God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. God saw the children of Israel, and God was concerned about them. Now Moses was keeping the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back of the wilderness and came to God's mountain, to Horeb. The angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. Moses said, "I will turn aside now and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt." When the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the midst of the bush and said, "Moses, Moses." He said, "Here I am." He said, "Don't come close. Take off your sandals from off your feet, for the place you are standing on is holy ground." Moreover, he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows. I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land to a good and large land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Now, behold, the cry of the children of Israel has come to me. Moreover, I have seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppress them. Come now, therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Moses said to God, Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? He said, Certainly I will be with you. This will be the token to you that I have sent you. When you have brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. Moses said to God, Behold, when I come to the children of Israel, I can tell them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, What is his name? What should I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, You shall tell the children of Israel this, I am has sent me to you. God said moreover to Moses, You shall tell the children of Israel this, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and tell them, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, has appeared to me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt to the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey. They will listen to your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Israel, to the king of Egypt, and you shall tell him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Now please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord, our God. I know that the king of Egypt won't give you permission to go. No, not by a mighty hand. I will put forth my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst of it. And after that, he will let you go. I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it will happen that when you go, you shall not go empty-handed. But every woman shall ask of her neighbor, and of her who sojourns in her house, jewels of silver and jewels of gold and clothing, and you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters. You shall despoil the Egyptians. Moses answered, But behold, they will not believe me, nor listen to my voice, for they will say, The Lord has not appeared to you. The Lord said to him, What is that in your hand? He said, A rod. He said, Throw it on the ground. He threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and Moses ran away from it. The Lord said to Moses, Put forth your hand and take it by the tail. He put forth his hand and laid hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand, that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has appeared to you." The Lord said furthermore to him, "Now put your hand inside your cloak." He put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, as white as snow. He said, "Put your hand inside your cloak again." He put his hand inside his cloak again, and when he took it out of his cloak, behold, it had turned again as his other flesh. It will happen, if they will neither believe you nor listen to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. It will happen, if they will not believe even these two signs, neither listen to your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river and pour it on the dry land. The water which you take out of the river will become blood on the dry land. Moses said to the Lord, "O Lord, I am not eloquent, neither before now, nor since you have spoken to your servant. For I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue." The Lord said to him, "What, who made man's mouth? Or who makes one mute, or deaf, or seeing, or blind? Isn't it I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall speak." He said, "O Lord, please send someone else." The anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, "What about Aaron, your brother, the Levite? I know that he can speak well. Also, behold, he comes forth to meet you. When he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. I will be with your mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you what you shall do. He will be your spokesman to the people, and it will happen that he will be to you a mouth, and you will be to him as God. You shall take this rod in your hand, with which you shall do the signs." Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, "Please let me go and return to my brothers who are in Egypt and see whether they are still alive." Jethro said to Moses, "Go in peace." The Lord said to Moses in Midian, "Go, return into Egypt, for all the men who sought your life are dead." Moses took his wife and his sons and set them on a donkey, and he returned to the land of Egypt. Moses took God's rod in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, "When you go back into Egypt, see that you do before Pharaoh all the wonders which I have put in your hand, but I will harden his heart, and he will not let the people go. You shall tell Pharaoh, 'Thus says the Lord, Israel is my son, my firstborn, and I have said to you, let my son go, that he may serve me, and you have refused to let him go. Behold, I will kill your son, your firstborn.'" It happened on the way at a lodging place that the Lord met him and wanted to kill him. Then Zipporah took a flint and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet. And she said, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." So he let him alone. Then she said, "You are a bridegroom of blood because of the circumcision." The Lord said to Aaron, "Go into the wilderness to meet Moses." He went and met him on God's mountain and kissed him. Moses told Aaron all the words of the Lord with which he had sent him, and all the signs with which he had charged him. Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. Aaron spoke all the words which the Lord had spoken to Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. The people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that he had seen their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped. Afterward, Moses and Aaron came and said to Pharaoh, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness." Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord, that I should listen to his voice to let Israel go? I don't know the Lord, and moreover, I will not let Israel go." They said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God, lest he fall on us with pestilence or with the sword." The king of Egypt said to them, "Why do you, Moses and Aaron, take the people from their work? Get back to your burdens." Pharaoh said, "Behold, these the people of the land are now many, and you make them rest from their burdens." The same day Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, "You shall no longer give the people straw to make brick, as before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. The number of the bricks which they made before, you require from them. You shall not diminish anything of it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry, saying, 'Let us go and sacrifice to our God.' Let heavier work be laid on the men, that they may labor therein, and don't let them pay any attention to lying words." The taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spoke to the people, saying, "This is what Pharaoh says, I will not give you straw. Go yourselves, get straw where you can find it, for nothing of your work shall be diminished." So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. The taskmasters were urgent, saying, "Fulfill your work quota daily, as when there was straw." The officers of the children of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, "Why haven't you fulfilled your quota, both yesterday and today, in making brick as before?" Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, saying, "Why do you deal this way with your servants? No straw is given to your servants, and they tell us, 'Make brick.' And behold, your servants are beaten, but the fault is in your own people." But he said, "You are idle. You are idle. Therefore you say, 'Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord.' Go therefore now and work, for no straw shall be given to you, yet shall you deliver the same number of bricks." The officers of the children of Israel saw that they were in trouble when it was said, "You shall not diminish anything from your daily quota of bricks." They met Moses and Aaron, who stood in the way, as they came forth from Pharaoh. And they said to them, "May the Lord look at you and judge, because you have made us a stench to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to kill us." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Lord, why have you brought trouble on this people? Why is it that you have sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on this people. Neither have you delivered your people at all. The Lord said to Moses, Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh. For by a strong hand he shall let them go, and by a strong hand he shall drive them out of his land. God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am the Lord, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I was not known to them. I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their travels, in which they lived as aliens. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore tell the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments, and I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who brings you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am the Lord. Moses spoke so to the children of Israel, but they didn't listen to Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Go in, speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. Moses spoke before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel haven't listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh listen to me, who am of uncircumcised lips? The Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, and gave them a charge to the children of Israel, and to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' houses. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, and Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the families of Reuben. The sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These are the families of Simeon. These are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations: Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni and Shimei, according to their families. The sons of Kohath, Amram, and Izhar, and Hebron, and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. The sons of Merari, Mahli, and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites, according to their generations. Amram took Jochebed, his father's sister, to himself as wife, and she bore him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. The sons of Izhar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uzziel, Mishael, and Elzaphan, and Sithri. Aaron took Elisheba, the daughter of Amminadab, the sister of Nahshon, as his wife, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. The sons of Korah, Asher, and Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahites. Eleazar, Aaron's son, took one of the daughters of Putiel as his wife, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites, according to their families. These are that Aaron and Moses, to whom the Lord said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their hosts. These are those who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are that Moses and Aaron. It happened on the day when the Lord spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, that the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, I am the Lord. Speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I speak to you. Moses said before the Lord, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips, and how shall Pharaoh listen to me? The Lord said to Moses, Behold, I have made you as God to Pharaoh, and Aaron, your brother, shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you. And Aaron, your brother, shall speak to Pharaoh, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not listen to you, and I will lay my hand on Egypt and bring forth my hosts, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I stretch forth my hand on Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. Moses and Aaron did so. As the Lord commanded them, so they did. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. The Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, Perform a miracle, then you shall tell Aaron, Take your rod and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it become a serpent. Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called for the wise men and the sorcerers. They also, the magicians of Egypt, did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he didn't listen to them, as the Lord had spoken. The Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Behold, he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him. And the rod, which was turned to a serpent, you shall take in your hand. You shall tell him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, until now you haven't listened. Thus says the Lord, In this you shall know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will strike with the rod that is in my hand on the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. The fish that are in the river shall die, and the river shall become foul, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink water from the river. The Lord said to Moses, Tell Aaron, Take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, over their streams and over their pools, and over all their ponds of water, that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Moses and Aaron did so, as the Lord commanded. And he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. The fish that were in the river died, and the river became foul, and the Egyptians couldn't drink water from the river, and the blood was throughout all the land of Egypt. The magicians of Egypt did in like manner with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he didn't listen to them, as the Lord had spoken. Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he lay even this to heart. All the Egyptians dug round about the river for water to drink, for they couldn't drink of the water of the river. 7 days were fulfilled after the Lord had struck the river. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and tell him, 'This is what the Lord says. Let my people go, that they may serve me. If you refuse to let them go, behold, I will plague all your borders with frogs, and the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and come into your house, and into your bedchamber, and on your bed, and into the house of your servants, and on your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on you, and on your people, and on all your servants.'" The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch forth your hand with your rod over the rivers, over the streams and over the pools, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Egypt." Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. The magicians did in like manner with their enchantments, and brought up frogs on the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, "Entreat the Lord that he take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may sacrifice to the Lord." Moses said to Pharaoh, "I give you the honor of setting the time that I should pray for you, and for your servants, and for your people, that the frogs be destroyed from you and your houses, and remain in the river only." He said, "Tomorrow." He said, "Be it according to your word, that you may know that there is none like the Lord our God. The frogs shall depart from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. They shall remain in the river only." Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried to the Lord concerning the frogs which he had brought on Pharaoh. The Lord did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courts, and out of the fields. They gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was a respite, he hardened his heart, and didn't listen to them, as the Lord had spoken. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your rod, and strike the dust of the earth, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt." They did so, and Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and struck the dust of the earth, and there were lice on man and on animal. All the dust of the earth became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. The magicians tried with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they couldn't. There were lice on man and on animal. Then the magicians said to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he didn't listen to them. As the Lord had spoken, the Lord said to Moses, "Rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh, Behold, he comes forth to the water, and tell him, This is what the Lord says, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you, and on your servants, and on your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. I will set apart in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. I will put a division between my people and your people. By tomorrow shall this sign be. The Lord did so, and there came grievous swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and in all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarms of flies. Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, Go, sacrifice to your God in the land. Moses said, It isn't appropriate to do so, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Behold, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes? And won't they stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he shall command us. Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away. Pray for me. Moses said, Behold, I go out from you, and I will pray to the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people from tomorrow. Only don't let Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. The Lord did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, and he didn't let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moses, Go into Pharaoh and tell him, This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is on your cattle, which are in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the herds, and on the flocks, with a very grievous pestilence. Then the Lord will make a distinction between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. The Lord appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. The Lord did that thing on the next day, and all the cattle of Egypt died, but of the cattle of the children of Israel, not one died. Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not so much as one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was stubborn, and he didn't let the people go. The Lord said to Moses and to Aaron, Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the sky in the sight of Pharaoh. It shall become small dust over all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with boils on man and on animal, throughout all the land of Egypt. They took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward the sky, and it became a boil breaking forth with boils on man and on animal, the magicians couldn't stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he didn't listen to them, as the Lord had spoken to Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and tell him, 'This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, that they may serve me. For this time I will send all my plagues on your heart and on your servants and on your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I would have put forth my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, and you would have been cut off from the earth. But indeed for this cause I have made you stand, to show you my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As you still exalt yourself against my people, that you won't let them go, behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as has not been in Egypt since the day it was founded even until now. Now therefore command that all of your cattle and all that you have in the field be brought into shelter. Every man and animal that is found in the field and isn't brought home, the hail shall come down on them, and they shall die. Those who feared the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh made their servants and their cattle flee into the houses. Whoever didn't regard the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. The Lord said to Moses, "Stretch forth your hand toward the sky, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, on man and on animal, and on every herb of the field throughout the land of Egypt." Moses stretched forth his rod toward the heavens, and the Lord sent thunder, hail, and lightning flashed down to the earth. The Lord rained hail on the land of Egypt. So there was very severe hail, and lightning mixed with the hail, such as had not been in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. The hail struck throughout all the land of Egypt all that was in the field, both man and animal. And the hail struck every herb of the field, and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron, and said to them, "I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Pray to the Lord, for there has been enough of mighty thunderings and hail. I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer." Moses said to him, "As soon as I have gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands to the Lord. The thunders shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that you may know that the earth is the Lord's. But as for you and your servants, I know that you will not yet fear the Lord God." The flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was in bloom. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they had not grown up. Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands to the Lord, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. When Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. The heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he didn't let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken through Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Go in to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these my signs in the midst of them, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and of your son's son what things I have done to Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that you may know that I am the Lord." Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh and said to him, "This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else, if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your country, and they shall cover the surface of the earth, so that one won't be able to see the earth. They shall eat the residue of that which has escaped, which remains to you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which grows for you out of the field. Your houses shall be filled, and the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, as neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were on the earth to this day." He turned and went out from Pharaoh. Pharaoh's servants said to him, "How long will this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord, their God. Don't you yet know that Egypt is destroyed?" And Moses and Aaron were brought again to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go, serve the Lord your God. But who are those who will go?" Moses said, "We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds will we go, for we must hold a feast to the Lord." He said to them, "The Lord be with you, if I will let you go with your little ones. See, evil is clearly before your faces. Not so. Go now, you who are men, and serve the Lord, for that is what you desire." They were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. The Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up on the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail has left." Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt. And the Lord brought an east wind on the land all that day and all the night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. The locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the borders of Egypt. They were very grievous. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the surface of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they ate every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. There remained nothing green, neither tree or herb of the field, through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste. And he said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now therefore please forgive my sin again, and pray to the Lord your God, that he may also take away from me this death." He went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. The Lord turned an exceeding strong west wind, which took up the locusts and drove them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the borders of Egypt, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he didn't let the children of Israel go. The Lord said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the sky, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." Moses stretched forth his hand toward the sky, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They didn't see one another, neither did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Pharaoh called to Moses and said, "Go, serve the Lord. Only let your flocks and your herds stay behind. Let your little ones also go with you." Moses said, "You must also give in to our hand sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not a hoof be left behind, for of it we must take to serve the Lord our God. And we don't know with what we must serve the Lord until we come there." But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he wouldn't let them go. Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Be careful to see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you shall die." Moses said, "You have spoken well. I will see your face again no more." The Lord said to Moses, "Yet one plague more will I bring on Pharaoh and on Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go. When he lets you go, he will surely thrust you out altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let them ask every man of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold." The Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. Moses said, "This is what the Lord says. About midnight, I will go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the maidservant who is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of cattle. There shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has not been, nor shall be any more. But against any of the children of Israel, a dog won't even bark or move its tongue, either against man or animal, that you may know that the Lord makes a distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. All these your servants shall come down to me, and bow down themselves to me, saying, 'Get out, and all the people who follow you, and after that I will go out.'" He went out from Pharaoh in hot anger. The Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh won't listen to you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt." Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he didn't let the children of Israel go out of his land. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, "This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household be too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take one according to the number of the souls. According to what everyone can eat, you shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male, a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 side posts and on the lintel, on the houses in which they shall eat it. They shall eat the flesh in that night, roasted with fire and unleavened bread. They shall eat it with bitter herbs. Don't eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted with fire, with its head, its legs, and its inner parts. You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. But that which remains of it until the morning, you shall burn with fire. This is how you shall eat it: with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and animal. Against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgments. I am the Lord. The blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and there shall no plague be on you to destroy you, when I strike the land of Egypt. This day shall be to you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord. Throughout your generations you shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away yeast out of your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. In the first day there shall be to you a holy convocation, and in the 7th day a holy convocation. No manner of work shall be done in them, except that which every man must eat, that only may be done by you. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this same day have I brought your hosts out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no yeast found in your houses. For whoever eats that which is leavened, that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a sojourner or one who is born in the land. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Draw out and take lambs according to your families, and kill the Passover. You shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians, and when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. You shall observe this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. It shall happen when you have come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he has promised, that you shall keep this service. It will happen when your children ask you, What do you mean by this service? That you shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians and spared our houses. The people bowed their heads and worshipped. The children of Israel went and did so, as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. It happened at midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. He called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, "Rise up, get out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go. Serve the Lord as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also." The Egyptians were urgent with the people to send them out of the land in haste. For they said, "We are all dead men." The people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes on their shoulders. The children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they asked of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and clothing. The Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. They despoiled the Egyptians. The children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot who were men, besides children. A mixed multitude went up also with them, with flocks, herds, and even very much cattle. They baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it wasn't leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and couldn't wait. Neither had they prepared for themselves any food. Now the time that the children of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. It happened at the end of 430 years, even the same day it happened, that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed to the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord, to be much observed of all the children of Israel throughout their generations. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no foreigner eat of it, but every manservant who is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then shall he eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant shall not eat of it. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth anything of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall you break a bone of it. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. When a stranger shall sojourn with you, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one who is born in the land. But no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. One law shall be to him who is born at home, and to the stranger who sojourns among you." Thus did all the children of Israel. As the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. It happened the same day that the Lord brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their hosts. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Sanctify to me all of the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of animal. It is mine." Moses said to the people, "Remember this day. in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten. This day you go forth in the month Abib. It shall be, when the Lord shall bring you into the land of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten throughout the 7 days, and no leavened bread shall be seen with you, neither shall there be yeast seen with you in all your borders. You shall tell your son in that day, saying, It is because of that which the Lord did for me when I came forth out of Egypt. It shall be for a sign to you on your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that the law of the Lord may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand the Lord has brought you out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. It shall be, when the Lord shall bring you into the land of the Canaanite, as he swore to you and to your fathers, and shall give it you, that you shall set apart to the Lord all that opens the womb, and every firstborn which you have that comes from an animal. The males shall be the Lord's. Every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck, and you shall redeem all the firstborn of man among your sons. It shall be, when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? That you shall tell him, By strength of hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it happened, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of animal. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that opens the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my sons I redeem. It shall be for a sign on your hand, and for symbols between your eyes. For by strength of hand the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. It happened, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God didn't lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, Lest perhaps the people change their minds when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But God led the people around by the way of the wilderness, by the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had made the children of Israel swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones away from here with you. They took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. The Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might go by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night didn't depart from before the people. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they turn back and encamp before Pihahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, before Baal-zephon. You shall encamp opposite it by the sea. Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, They are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will follow after them. And I will get honor over Pharaoh and over all his host, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord." They did so. It was told the king of Egypt that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was changed towards the people. And they said, "What is this we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us?" He made ready his chariot and took his army with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over all of them. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. For the children of Israel went out with a high hand. The Egyptians pursued after them. All the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pi-hahiroth, before Baal-zephon. When Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they were very afraid. The children of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you treated us this way, to bring us forth out of Egypt? Isn't this the word that we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, 'Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians'? For it were better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness." Moses said to the people, "Don't be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall never see them again. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall be still." The Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Speak to the children of Israel that they go forward. Lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go into the midst of the sea on dry ground. Behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall go in after them. And I will get myself honor over Pharaoh, and over all his host, over his chariots, and over his horsemen. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten myself honor over Pharaoh, over his chariots, and over his horsemen." The angel of God, who went before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them. It came between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel, and there was the cloud and the darkness, yet gave it light by night. And the one didn't come near the other all the night. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all the night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. The children of Israel went into the midst of the sea on the dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them into the midst of the sea. All of Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. It happened in the morning watch that the Lord looked out on the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of cloud, and confused the Egyptian army. He took off their chariot wheels, and they drove them heavily. so that the Egyptians said, "Let's flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians." The Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come again on the Egyptians, on their chariots, and on their horsemen." Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. The Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even all Pharaoh's army that went in after them into the sea. There remained not so much as one of them, but the children of Israel walked on dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great work which the Lord did to the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Then Moses and the children of Israel sang this song to the Lord and said, "I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains are sunk in the Red Sea. The deeps cover them. They went down into the depths like a stone. Your right hand, the Lord, is glorious in power. Your right hand, the Lord, dashes the enemy in pieces. In the greatness of your excellency, you overthrow those who rise up against you. You send forth your wrath. It consumes them as stubble. With the blast of your nostrils, the waters were piled up. The floods stood upright as a heap. The deeps were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, "I will pursue. I will overtake. I will divide the spoil. My desire shall be satisfied on them. I will draw my sword. My hand shall destroy them." You blew with your wind. The sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, the Lord, among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your right hand. The earth swallowed them. You, in your loving kindness, have led the people that you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength to your holy habitation. The peoples have heard. They tremble. Pangs have taken hold on the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were dismayed. Trembling takes hold of the mighty men of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan are melted away. Terror and dread falls on them. By the greatness of your arm, they are as still as a stone. Until your people pass over, the Lord, until the people pass over who you have purchased. You shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, the place, the Lord, which you have made for yourself to dwell in. The sanctuary, Lord, which your hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought back the waters of the sea on them. But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the midst of the sea. Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dances. Miriam answered them, "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea." Moses led Israel onward from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness, and found no water. When they came to Marah, they couldn't drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah. The people murmured against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" Then he cried to the Lord. The Lord showed him a tree, and he threw it into the waters, and the waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them, and there he tested them. And he said, "If you will diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and will do that which is right in his eyes, and will pay attention to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you, which I have put on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." They came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters. They took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. The whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, "We wish that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, when we ate our fill of bread. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then said the Lord to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from the sky for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. It shall come to pass on the 6th day that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily." Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, "At evening, then you shall know that the Lord has brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he hears your murmurings against the Lord. Who are we, that you murmur against us?" Moses said, "Now the Lord shall give you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfy you, because the Lord hears your murmurings, which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord." Moses said to Aaron, "Tell all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he has heard your murmurings." It happened, as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At evening you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God." It happened at evening, that quail came up and covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay around the camp. When the dew that lay had gone, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing, small as the hoarfrost on the ground. When the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, "What is it?" For they didn't know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Gather of it, everyone according to his eating, an omer a head, according to the number of your persons shall you take it, every man for those who are in his tent." The children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. When they measured it with an omer, he who gathered much had nothing over, and he who gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. Moses said to them, "Let no one leave of it until the morning." Notwithstanding, they didn't listen to Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and became foul. And Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone according to his eating. When the sun grew hot, it melted, as it happened that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. He said to them, "This is that which the Lord has spoken. Tomorrow is a solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake that which you want to bake, and boil that which you want to boil, and all that remains over, lay up for yourselves to be kept until the morning." They laid it up until the morning, as Moses asked, and it didn't become foul, neither was there any worm in it. Moses said, "Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you shall not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. In it there shall be none." It happened on the 7th day that some of the people went out to gather, and they found none. The Lord said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? Behold, because the Lord has given you the Sabbath, therefore he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Everyone stay in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. The house of Israel called the name of it manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. Moses said, "This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Let an omer full of it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before the Lord, to be kept throughout your generations." As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony, to be kept. The children of Israel ate the manna 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate the manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. All the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin by their journeys, according to the Lord's commandment, and encamped in Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" The people were thirsty for water there, and the people murmured against Moses and said, "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to kill us, our children and our livestock with thirst?" Moses cried to the Lord, saying, "What shall I do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Walk on before the people, and take the elders of Israel with you, and take the rod in your hand with which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock in Horeb. You shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, that the people may drink." Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. He called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because the children of Israel quarreled, and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Then Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, "Choose men for us, and go out, fight with Amalek. And tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with God's rod in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses had told him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. It happened, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side. His hands were steady until sunset. Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. The Lord said to Moses, "Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under the sky." Moses built an altar and called the name of it, "The Lord our Banner." He said, "The Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel his people, how that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, received Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her away, and her 2 sons. The name of one son was Gershom, for Moses said, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land." The name of the other was Eliezer, for he said, "My father's God was my help, and delivered me from Pharaoh's sword." Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses into the wilderness, where he was encamped, at the mountain of God. He said to Moses, "I, your father-in-law Jethro, have come to you with your wife, and her 2 sons with her." And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and bowed and kissed him. They asked each other of their welfare, and they came to the tent. Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that had come on them on the way, and how the Lord delivered them. Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, in that he had delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians. Jethro said, "Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians." Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods because of the thing in which they dealt arrogantly against them. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God, while Aaron came with all of the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. It happened on the next day that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from the morning to the evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, "What is this thing that you do for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand around you from morning to evening?" Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I judge between a man and his neighbor, and I make them know the statutes of God and his laws." Moses' father-in-law said to him, "The thing that you do is not good. You will surely wear away, both you and this people that is with you, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. Listen now to my voice. I will give you counsel, and God be with you. You represent the people before God and bring the causes to God. You shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and shall show them the way in which they must walk and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating unjust gain, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. Let them judge the people at all times. It shall be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they shall judge themselves. So shall it be easier for you, and they shall share the load with you. If you will do this thing, and God commands you so, then you will be able to endure, and all of these people also will go to their place in peace." So Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. They judged the people at all times. They brought the hard causes to Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. In the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone forth out of the land of Egypt, on that same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. When they had departed from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai, they encamped in the wilderness, and there Israel encamped before the mountain. Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, "This is what you shall tell the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be my own possession from among all peoples, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel." Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and set before them all these words which the Lord commanded him. All the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken, we will do." Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever." Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready against the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people on Mount Sinai. You shall set bounds to the people round about, saying, 'Be careful that you don't go up onto the mountain or touch its border. Whoever touches the mountain shall be surely put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it is animal or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come up to the mountain." Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. He said to the people, "Be ready by the third day. Don't have sexual relations with a woman." It happened on the third day, when it was morning, that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of an exceedingly loud trumpet. And all the people who were in the camp trembled. Moses led the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the lower part of the mountain. Mount Sinai, the whole of it, smoked, because the Lord descended on it in fire, and its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. When the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by a voice. The Lord came down on Mount Sinai, to the top of the mountain. The Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down, charge the people, lest they break through to the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. Let the priests also, who come near to the Lord, sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth on them." Moses said to the Lord, "The people can't come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, 'Set bounds around the mountain and sanctify it.'" The Lord said to him, "Go down, and you shall bring Aaron up with you, but don't let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break forth on them." So Moses went down to the people and told them, God spoke all these words, saying, "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. And you shall not make for yourselves an idol, nor any image of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and on the fourth generation of those who hate me, and showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You shall labor 6 days and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work in it, You, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, so nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. All the people perceived the thunderings, the lightnings, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. When the people saw it, they trembled as and stayed at a distance. They said to Moses, "Speak with us yourself, and we will listen. But don't let God speak with us, lest we die." Moses said to the people, "Don't be afraid, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, that you won't sin." The people stayed at a distance, and Moses drew near to the thick darkness where God was. The Lord said to Moses, "This is what you shall tell the children of Israel. You yourselves have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall most certainly not make alongside of me gods of silver or gods of gold for yourselves. You shall make an altar of earth for me, and shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In every place where I record my name, I will come to you, and I will bless you. If you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stones. For if you lift up your tool on it, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed to it." He said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship from a distance. Moses alone shall come near to the Lord, but they shall not come near, neither shall the people go up with him." Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the ordinances, and all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words which the Lord has spoken will we do." Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the mountain, and 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent young men of the children of Israel, who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. He took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. And they said, "All that the Lord has spoken will we do, and be obedient." Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, "Look, this is the blood of the covenant, which the Lord has made with you concerning all these words." Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up. They saw the God of Israel. Under his feet was like a paved work of sapphire stone, like the skies for clearness. He didn't lay his hand on the nobles of the children of Israel. They saw God, and ate and drank. And the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay here, and I will give you the tables of stone with the law and the commands that I have written, that you may teach them." Moses rose up with Joshua, his servant, and Moses went up onto God's mountain. He said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come again to you. Behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever is involved in a dispute can go to them." Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. The 7th day he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. The appearance of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the eyes of the children of Israel. Moses entered into the midst of the cloud and went up on the mountain. And Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, the people gathered themselves together to Aaron and said to him, "Come, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him." Aaron said to them, "Take off the golden rings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them to me." All the people took off the golden rings which were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. He received what they handed him and fashioned it with an engraving tool and made it a molten calf. And they said, "These are your gods, Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow shall be a feast to the Lord." They rose up early on the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Go, get down, for your people, who you brought up out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed to it and said, 'These are your gods, Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt.' The Lord said to Moses, 'I have seen these people, and behold, they are a stiff-necked people. Now, therefore, leave me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of you a great nation.' Moses begged the Lord his God and said, 'The Lord, why does your wrath burn hot against your people, that you have brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians speak, saying, He brought them forth for evil, to kill them in the mountains, and to consume them from the surface of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said to them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of the sky, and all this land that I have spoken of I will give to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. The Lord repented of the evil which he said he would do to his people. Moses turned and went down from the mountain, with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, tablets that were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other, they were written. The tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, engraved on the tables. When Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, "There is the noise of war in the camp." He said, "It isn't the voice of those who shout for victory, neither is it the voice of those who cry for being overcome, but the noise of those who sing that I hear." It happened, as soon as he came near to the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger grew hot, and he threw the tablets out of his hands and broke them beneath the mountain. He took the calf which they had made and burnt it with fire, ground it to powder, and scattered it on the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. Moses said to Aaron, "What did this people to you, that you have brought a great sin on them?" Aaron said, "Don't let the anger of my Lord grow hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. For they said to me, 'Make us gods, which shall go before us.' For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him." I said to them, "Whoever has any gold, let them take it off." So they gave it me, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf. When Moses saw that the people had broken loose, for Aaron had let them loose for a derision among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me." All the sons of Levi gathered themselves together to him. He said to them, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, every man put his sword on his thigh and go back and forth from gate to gate throughout the camp, and every man kill his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor." The sons of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. Moses said, "Consecrate yourselves today to the Lord. Yes, every man against his son and against his brother, that he may bestow on you a blessing this day." It happened on the next day that Moses said to the people, "You have sinned a great sin. Now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I shall make atonement for your sin." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, this people have sinned a great sin and have made themselves gods of gold. Yet now, if you will, forgive their sin. And if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written." The Lord said to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Now go, lead the people to the place of which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day when I will punish them for their sin." The Lord struck the people because they made the calf, which Aaron made. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Depart, go up from here, you and the people that you have brought up out of the land of Egypt, to the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your seed. I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey, For I will not go up in the midst of you, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you in the way." When the people heard this evil news, they mourned, and no one put on his jewelry. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. If I were to go up into your midst for one moment, I would consume you. Therefore now take off your jewelry from you, that I may know what to do to you." The children of Israel just stripped themselves of their jewelry from Mount Horeb onward. Now Moses used to take the tent and to pitch it outside the camp, far away from the camp, and he called it the tent of meeting. It happened that everyone who sought the Lord went out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. It happened that when Moses went out to the tent, that all the people rose up and stood, everyone at their tent door, and watched Moses until he had gone into the tent. It happened when Moses entered into the tent that the pillar of cloud descended, stood at the door of the tent, and spoke with Moses. All the people saw the pillar of cloud stand at the door of the tent, and all the people rose up and worshipped, everyone at their tent door. The Lord spoke to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. He turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, didn't depart out of the tent. Moses said to the Lord, "Behold, you tell me, bring up this people, and you haven't let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor in my sight. Now therefore, if I have found favor in your sight, please show me now your ways, that I may know you, so that I may find favor in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people." He said, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." He said to him, "If your presence doesn't go with me, don't carry us up from here. For how would people know that I have found favor in your sight, I and your people? Isn't it in that you go with us, so that we are separated, I and your people, from all the people who are on the surface of the earth?" The Lord said to Moses, "I will do this thing also that you have spoken, for you have found favor in my sight, and I know you by name." He said, "Please show me your glory." He said, "I will make all my goodness pass before you, and will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy." He said, "You cannot see my face, for man may not see me and live." The Lord also said, "Behold, there is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. It will happen while my glory passes by, that I will put you in a cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take away my hand, and you will see my back, but my face shall not be seen." The Lord said to Moses, "Chisel 2 stone tablets like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Be ready by the morning, and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. No one shall come up with you, and neither let anyone be seen throughout all the mountain. Neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mountain." He chiseled 2 tablets of stone like the first, and Moses rose up early in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him. and took in his hand 2 stone tablets. The Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. The Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a merciful and gracious God, slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness and truth, keeping loving kindness for thousands, forgiving iniquity and disobedience and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, and on the children's children, on the 3rd and on the 4th generation. Moses hurried and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. He said, "If now I have found favor in your sight, Lord, please let the Lord go in the midst of us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance." He said, "Behold, I make a covenant. Before all your people, I will do marvels, such as have not been worked in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which you are shall see the work of the Lord. For it is an awesome thing that I do with you. Observe that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Be careful, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But you shall break down their altars and dash in pieces their pillars, and you shall cut down their Asherim, for you shall worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Don't make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, lest they play the prostitute after their gods, and sacrifice to their gods. And one call you, and you eat of his sacrifice, and you take of their daughters to your sons, and their daughters play the prostitute after their gods, and make your sons play the prostitute after their gods. You shall make no cast idols for yourselves. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, at the time appointed in the month Abib. For in the month Abib you came out from Egypt. All that opens the womb is mine, and all your cattle that is male, the firstborn of cow and sheep. The firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem. No one shall appear before me empty. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. In ploughing time and in harvest you shall rest. You shall observe the feast of weeks with the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of harvest at the year's end. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before the Lord, the God of Israel. For I will drive out nations before you, and enlarge your borders. Neither shall any man desire your land when you go up to appear before the Lord, your God, 3 times in the year. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left to the morning. You shall bring the first of the first fruits of your ground to the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. The Lord said to Moses, "Write you these words, for in accordance with these words, I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. He was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water. He wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. It happened when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mountain, that Moses didn't know that the skin of his face shone by reason of his speaking with him. When Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, 'tis behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moses spoke to them. Afterward, all the children of Israel came near, and he gave them all of the commandments that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. When Moses was done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke to the children of Israel that which he was commanded. The children of Israel saw Moses' face, that the skin of Moses' face shone, and Moses put the veil on his face again, until he went in to speak with him. The people were as murmurers, just speaking evil in the ears of the Lord. And when the Lord heard it, his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them, and devoured in the uttermost part of the camp. The people cried to Moses, and Moses prayed to the Lord, and the fire abated. The name of that place was called Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them. The mixed multitude that was among them lusted exceedingly, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, "Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we ate in Egypt for nothing, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all save this manna to look on." The manna was like coriander seed, and the appearance of it as the appearance of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, and ground it in mills, or beat it in mortars, and boiled it in pots, and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. When the dew fell on the camp in the night, the manna fell on it. Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, every man at the door of his tent. And the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly, and Moses was displeased. Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you dealt ill with your servant? And why haven't I found favor in your sight, that you lay the burden of all this people on me? Have I conceived all this people? Have I brought them forth, that you should tell me, carry them in your bosom, as a nursing father carries the sucking child, to the land which you swore to their fathers? Whence should I have flesh to give to all this people? For they weep to me, saying, 'Give us flesh, that we may eat.' I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. If you deal thus with me, please kill me out of hand, if I have found favor in your sight, and let me not see my wretchedness." The Lord said to Moses, "Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and talk with you there, And I will take of the Spirit which is on you, and will put it on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you not bear it yourself alone. Say you to the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and you shall eat flesh. For you have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and you shall eat. You shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but a whole month, until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome to you, because that you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? Moses said, the people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen. And you have said, I will give them flesh, that they may eat a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slain for them, to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to suffice them? The Lord said to Moses, has the Lord's hand grown short? Now shall you see whether my word shall happen to you or not. Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and he gathered 70 men of the elders of the people and set them round about the tent. The Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took of the Spirit that was on him, and put it on the 70 elders. And it happened that when the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied. But they did so no more. But there remained 2 men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested on them, and they were of those who were written, but had not gone out to the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. There ran a young man, and told Moses, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. Joshua, the son of Nun, the minister of Moses, one of his chosen men, answered, my lord Moses, forbid them. Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Would that all the Lord's people were prophets, that the Lord would put his Spirit on them. Moses got him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. There went forth a wind from the Lord, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the earth. The people rose up all that day, and all the night, and all the next day, and gathered the quails. He who gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. While the flesh was yet between their teeth, before it was chewed, the anger of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord struck the people with a very great plague. The name of that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah. It's because there they buried the people who lusted. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the people journeyed to Hazeroth, and they abode at Hazeroth. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married. For he had married a Cushite woman. They said, has the Lord indeed spoken only with Moses? Hasn't he spoken also with us? The Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very humble, above all the men who were on the surface of the earth. The Lord spoke suddenly to Moses, and to Aaron, and to Miriam, "Come out, you three, to the tent of meeting." They three came out. The Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the door of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. He said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision. I will speak with him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so. He is faithful in all my house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even manifestly, and not in dark speeches. And the form of the Lord shall he see. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant, against Moses?" The anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. The cloud removed from over the tent, and behold, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron looked at Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. Aaron said to Moses, "O my Lord, please don't lay sin on us, for that we have done foolishly, and for that we have sinned. Let her not, I pray, be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb." Moses cried to the Lord, saying, "Heal her, God, I beg you." The Lord said to Moses, "If her father had but spit in her face, shouldn't she be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut up outside of the camp 7 days. And after that, she shall be brought in again." Miriam was shut up outside of the camp 7 days. And the people didn't travel until Miriam was brought in again. Afterward, the people journeyed from Hazeroth and encamped in the wilderness of Paran. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Send you men, that they may spy out the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall you send a man, every one a prince among them." Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the commandment of the Lord, all of them men who were heads of the children of Israel. These were their names. Of the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, the son of Zakkar. Of the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat the son of Hori. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of Issachar, Igal the son of Joseph. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea the son of Nun. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Palti the son of Raphu. Of the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel the son of Sodi. Of the tribe of Joseph, namely, of the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi the son of Susi. Of the tribe of Dan, Amiel the son of Gemali. Of the tribe of Asher, Sethur the son of Michael. Of the tribe of Naphtali, Nahbi the son of Vopsi. Of the tribe of Gad, Gul the son of Machi. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. Moses called Hoshea the son of Nun Joshua. Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, "Go up this way by the south, and go up into the hill country, and see the land, what it is, and the people who dwell therein, whether they are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it is good or bad, and what cities they are that they dwell in, whether in camps or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it is fat or lean, whether there is wood therein or not. Be of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land." Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin to Rehob to the entrance of Hamath. They went up by the south and came to Hebron, and Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were there. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. They came to the valley of Eshcol and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes. And they bore it on a staff between two. They brought also of the pomegranates and of the figs. That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster which the children of Israel cut down from there. They returned from spying out the land at the end of 40 days. They went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, to the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word to them and to all the congregation, and shown them the fruit of the land. They told him and said, "We came to the land where you sent us, and surely it flows with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. However, the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified, and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there, and Amalek dwells in the land of the south, and the Hittite, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite dwell in the hill country, and the Canaanite dwells by the sea, and along by the side of the Jordan." Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it." But the men who went up with him said, "We aren't able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we." They brought up an evil report of the land which they had spied out to the children of Israel, saying, "The land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that eats up the inhabitants of it, and all the people who we saw in it are men of great stature." There we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come of the Nephilim, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. All the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. All the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, "Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in this wilderness. Why does the Lord bring us to this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will be a prey. Wouldn't it be better for us to return into Egypt?" They said one to another, "Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, who were of those who spied out the land, tore their clothes, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, "The land which we passed through to spy it out is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only don't rebel against the Lord, neither fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is removed from over them, and the Lord is with us. Don't fear them." But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. The glory of the Lord appeared in the tent of meeting to all the children of Israel. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will this people despise me? And how long will they not believe in me? For all the signs which I have worked among them, I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they." Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. They have heard that you, the Lord, are in the midst of this people. For you, the Lord, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you shall kill this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, 'Because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore to them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness.' Now please let the power of the Lord be great, according as you have spoken, saying, 'The Lord is slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, forgiving iniquity and disobedience, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and on the fourth generation. Pardon, please, the iniquity of this people, according to the greatness of your loving kindness, and according as you have forgiven this people, from Egypt even until now." The Lord said, "I have pardoned according to your word, but in very deed, as I live, and as all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men who have seen my glory and my signs, which I worked in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have tempted me these 10 times, and have not listened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swore to their fathers, neither shall any of those who despised me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and has followed me fully, him will I bring into the land into which he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekite and the Canaanite dwell in the valley. Tomorrow turn you, and get you into the wilderness by the way to the Red Sea." The Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "How long shall I bear with this evil congregation that murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Tell them, as I live, says the Lord, surely as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your dead bodies shall fall in this wilderness, and all who were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, who have murmured against me, surely you shall not come into the land, concerning which I swore that I would make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, that you said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your dead bodies shall fall in this wilderness. Your children shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and shall bear your prostitution until your dead bodies be consumed in the wilderness. After the number of the days in which you spied out the land, even 40 days, for every day a year, shall you bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and you shall know my alienation. I, the Lord, have spoken. Surely this will I do to all this evil congregation, who are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. The men whom Moses sent to spy out the land who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up an evil report against the land. Even those men who did bring up an evil report of the land died by the plague before the Lord. But Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, remained alive of those men who went to spy out the land. Moses told these words to all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. They rose up early in the morning and got them up to the top of the mountain, saying, "Behold, we are here, and will go up to the place which the Lord has promised, for we have sinned." Moses said, "Why now do you disobey the commandment of the Lord, seeing it shall not prosper? Don't go up, for the Lord isn't among you, that you not be struck down before your enemies. For there the Amalekite and the Canaanite are before you, more than you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned back from following the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you." But they presumed to go up to the top of the mountain. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses didn't depart out of the camp. Then the Amalekite came down, and the Canaanite who lived in that mountain, and struck them and beat them down, even to Hormah. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, with Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses, with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the congregation, called to the assembly, men of renown. And they assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said to them, "You take too much on you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then lift you up yourselves above the assembly of the Lord?" When Moses heard it, he fell on his face, and he spoke to Korah and to all his company, saying, "In the morning the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near to him. Even him whom he shall choose will he cause to come near to him. This do. Take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire in them, and put incense on them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord does choose, he shall be holy. You take too much on you, you sons of Levi." Moses said to Korah, "Hear now, you sons of Levi. Seems it but a small thing to you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tent of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them, and that he has brought you near, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you, and seek you the priesthood also. Therefore you and all your company are gathered together against the Lord. And Aaron, what is he who you murmur against him?" Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and they said, "We won't come up. Is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? But you must needs make yourself also a prince over us. Moreover, you haven't brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you put out the eyes of these men? We won't come up." Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, "Don't respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, neither have I hurt one of them?" Moses said to Korah, "You and all your company go before the Lord, you and they and Aaron, tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense on them, and bring you before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, you also, and Aaron, each his censer." They took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood at the door of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Korah assembled all the congregation against them to the door of the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the congregation. The Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment." They fell on their faces and said, "God is the God of the spirits of all flesh. Shall one man sin? And will you be angry with all the congregation?" The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the congregation, saying, get away from around the tent of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. He spoke to the congregation, saying, "Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins." So they got them up from the tent of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little ones. Moses said, "Hereby you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hasn't sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the ground open its mouth, and swallow them up, with all that appertain to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you shall understand that these men have despised the Lord." It happened, as he made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground split apart that was under them, and the earth opened its mouth, and swallowed them up, and their households, and all the men who appertain to Korah, and all their goods. So they, and all that appertained to them, went down alive into Sheol, and the earth closed on them, and they perished from among the assembly. All Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, "Lest the earth swallow us up." Fire came forth from the Lord, and devoured the 250 men who offered the incense. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter you the fire yonder. For they are holy, even the censers of these sinners against their own lives. And let them be made beaten plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord. Therefore they are holy, and they shall be a sign to the children of Israel." Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers, which those who were burnt had offered, and they beat them out for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial to the children of Israel, to the end that no stranger who isn't of the seed of Aaron comes near to burn incense before the Lord, that he not be as Korah and as his company, as the Lord spoke to him by Moses. But on the next day, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, "You have killed the people of the Lord." It happened when the congregation was assembled against Moses and against Aaron that they looked toward the tent of meeting, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tent of meeting. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Get away from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment." They fell on their faces. Moses said to Aaron, "Take thy censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and lay incense thereon, and carry it quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them. For there is wrath gone out from the Lord. The plague is begun." Aaron took as Moses spoke, and ran into the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on the incense, and made atonement for the people. He stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Now those who died by the plague were 14,700, besides those who died about the matter of Korah. Aaron returned to Moses to the door of the tent of meeting, and the plague was stayed. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and take of them rods, one for each father's house. Of all their princes according to their fathers' houses, 12 rods. Write you every man's name on his rod. You shall write Aaron's name on the rod of Levi, for there shall be one rod for each head of their fathers' houses. You shall lay them up in the tent of meeting before the testimony where I meet with you. It shall happen that the rod of the man whom I shall choose shall bud, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against you." Moses spoke to the children of Israel, and all their princes gave him rods, for each prince one, according to their fathers' houses, even 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron was among their rods. Moses laid up the rods before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. It happened on the next day that Moses went into the tent of the testimony, and behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and put forth buds, and produced blossoms, and bore ripe almonds. Moses brought out all the rods from before the Lord to all the children of Israel. And they looked, and took every man his rod. The Lord said to Moses, "Put back the rod of Aaron before the testimony, to be kept for a token against the children of rebellion, that you may make an end of their murmurings against me, that they not die." Thus did Moses. As the Lord commanded him, so did he. The children of Israel spoke to Moses, saying, "Behold, we perish. We are undone. We are all undone. Everyone who comes near to the tent of the Lord, dies. Shall we perish, all of us?" The children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people abode in Kadesh. And Miriam died there, and was buried there. There was no water for the congregation, and they assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. The people strove with Moses and spoke, saying, "Would that we had died when our brothers died before the Lord. Why have you brought the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness, that we should die there, we and our animals? Why have you made us to come up out of Egypt, to bring us into this evil place? It is no place of seed or of figs or of vines, or of pomegranates. Neither is there any water to drink. Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of meeting, and fell on their faces. And the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and Aaron your brother, and speak you to the rock before their eyes, that it give forth its water. And you shall bring forth to them water out of the rock. So you shall give the congregation and their cattle drink." Moses took the rod from before the Lord, as he commanded him. Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels. Shall we bring you forth water out of this rock?" Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his rod twice, and water came forth abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their cattle. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you didn't believe in me, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them." Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the travail that has befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we lived in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians dealt ill with us, and our fathers. And when we cried to the Lord, he heard our voice, and sent an angel, and brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of your border. Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through field or through vineyard, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand nor to the left, until we have passed your border." Edom said to him, "You shall not pass through me, lest I come out with the sword against you." The children of Israel said to him, "We will go up by the highway, and if we drink of your water, I and my cattle, then will I give the price of it. Let me only, without doing anything else, pass through on my feet." He said, "You shall not pass through." Edom came out against him with much people, and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Why Israel turned away from him? They journeyed from Kadesh, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom, saying, "Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered to his people, and shall die there." Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they wept for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of Atharim, and he fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Israel vowed a vow to the Lord and said, "If you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities." The Lord listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. And the name of the place was called Hormah. They journeyed from Mount Hor by the way to the Red Sea, to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. The people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, and there is no water, and our soul loathes this light bread." The Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. The people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned because we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he take away the serpents from us." Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, "Make you a fiery serpent, and set it on a standard, and it shall happen that everyone who is bitten, when he sees it, shall live." Moses made a serpent of brass and set it on the standard. And it happened that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he looked to the serpent of brass, he lived. The children of Israel journeyed and encamped in Oboth. They journeyed from Oboth and encamped at Iyebarim, in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrise. From there they journeyed and encamped in the valley of Zered. From there they journeyed and encamped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that comes out of the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Vaheb in Suphah, the valleys of the Arnon, and the slope of the valleys that inclines toward the dwelling of Ar, leans on the border of Moab. From there they journeyed to Beer. That is the well whereof the Lord said to Moses, "Gather the people together, and I will give them water." Then sang Israel this song, "Spring up well, sing you to it, the well which the princes dug, which the nobles of the people dug, with the scepter and with their poles." From the wilderness they journeyed to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahalil, and from Nahalil to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley that is in the field of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, "Let me pass through your land. We will not turn aside into field or into vineyard. We will not drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed your border." Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his border. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and came to Jahaz, and he fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, even to the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong. Israel took all these cities, and Israel lived in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the towns of it. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and taken all his land out of his hand, even to the Arnon. Therefore those who speak in Proverbs say, "Come you to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established. For a fire is gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has devoured Ar of Moab, the lords of the high places of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You are undone, people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives, his daughters into captivity, to Sihon, king of the Amorites. We have shot at them. Heshbon is perished even to Dibon. We have laid waste even to Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took the towns of it and drove out the Amorites who were there. They turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. The Lord said to Moses, "Don't fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand, and all his people, and in his land, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon." So they struck him, and his sons and all his people, until there was none left him remaining, and they possessed his land. Then drew near the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Mashir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. They stood before Moses, and before Eleazar the priest, and before the princes and all the congregation, at the door of the tent of meeting, saying, "Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not among the company of those who gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah. But he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from among his family? Because he had no son. Give to us a possession among the brothers of our father." Moses brought their cause before the Lord. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brothers, and you shall cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. You shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. If he have no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he have no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father have no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his kinsman, who is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be to the children of Israel a statute, an ordinance, as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, Go up into this mountain of Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. When you have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered, because you rebelled against my word in the wilderness of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah of Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Moses spoke to the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, appoint a man over the congregation, who may go out before them. and who may come in before them, and who may lead them out, and who may bring them in, as that the congregation of the Lord not be as sheep which have no shepherd. The Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. You shall put of your honor on him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may obey. He shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire for him by the judgment of the Urim before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation." Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and he laid his hands on him, and gave him a charge, as the Lord spoke by Moses. Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel. He said to them, "I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in, and the Lord has said to me, you shall not go over this Jordan. The Lord your God, he will go over before you. He will destroy these nations from before you, and you shall dispossess them. And Joshua, he shall go over before you, as the Lord has spoken. The Lord will do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the kings of the Amorites, and to their land, whom he destroyed. The Lord will deliver them up before you, and you shall do to them according to all the commandment which I have commanded you. Be strong and of good courage. Don't be afraid, nor be scared of them. For the Lord your God, he it is who does go with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you." Then Moses called to Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, "Be strong and of good courage, for you shall go with this people into the land which the Lord has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you shall cause them to inherit it. The Lord, he it is who does go before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you, neither forsake you. Don't be afraid, neither be dismayed." Moses wrote this law and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Moses commanded them, saying, "At the end of every 7 years, in the set time of the year of release, in the Feast of Tents, when all Israel is come to appear before the Lord your God in the place which he shall choose, you shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, chase the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children who have not known may hear and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as you live in the land where you go over the Jordan to possess it." The Lord said to Moses, "Behold, your days approach that you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, that I may give him a charge." Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. The Lord appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud, and the pillar of cloud stood over the door of the tent. The Lord said to Moses, "Behold, you shall sleep with your fathers, and this people will rise up and play the prostitute after the strange gods of the land, where they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant, which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall come on them, so that they will say in that day, haven't these evils come on us, because our God is not among us? I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evil which they shall have worked, in that they are turned to other gods. Now therefore write you this song for you, and teach you it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swore to their fathers, flowing with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves, and grown fat, then will they turn to other gods, and serve them, and despise me, and break my covenant. It shall happen, when many evils and troubles are come on them, that this song shall testify before them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they frame this day, before I have brought them into the land which I swore. So Moses wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. He gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong and of good courage, for you shall bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore to them, and I will be with you. It happened, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, meant that Moses commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it by the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against you. For I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against the Lord. And how much more after my death? Assemble to me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do that which is evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. Moses spoke in the ears of all the assembly of Israel the words of this song until they were finished. Give ear, you heavens, and I will speak. Let the earth hear the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall condense as the dew, as the small rain on the tender grass, as the showers on the herb. For I will proclaim the name of the Lord, ascribe greatness to our God. The rock, his work is perfect. For all his ways are justice. A God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right is he. They have dealt corruptly with him. They are not his children. It is their blemish. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do you thus requite the Lord, foolish people and unwise? Isn't he your father who has bought you? He has made you and established you. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you. your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High gave to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the children of men, he set the bounds of the peoples according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, in the waste, howling wilderness. He compassed him about. He cared for him. He kept him as the apple of his eye, as an eagle that stirs up her nest, that flutters over her young. He spread abroad his wings. He took them. He bore them on his pinions. The Lord alone did lead him. There was no foreign god with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth. He ate the increase of the field. He made him to suck honey out of the rock, oil out of the flinty rock, butter of the herd, and milk of the flock, with fat of lambs, rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, with the finest of the wheat. Of the blood of the grape he drank wine. But Jeshurun grew fat and kicked. You have grown fat. You are grown thick. You will become sleek. Then he forsook God who made him, lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They moved him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed to demons, which were no God, to gods that they didn't know, to new gods that came up of late, which your fathers didn't dread. Of the rock that became your father, you are unmindful, have forgotten God who gave you birth. The Lord saw it and abhorred them because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very perverse generation, children in whom is no faithfulness. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. I will move them to jealousy with those who are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation, for a fire is kindled in my anger, burns to the lowest Sheol, devours the earth with its increase, sets on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap evils on them. I will spend my arrows on them. They shall be wasted with hunger and devoured with burning heat, bitter destruction. The teeth of animals will I send on them. With the poison of crawling things of the dust, outside shall the sword be reeve, in the chambers terror. It shall destroy both young man and virgin, the suckling with the man of grey hairs. I said, I would scatter them afar. I would make the memory of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the provocation of the enemy, lest their adversaries should judge amiss, lest they should say, our hand is exalted, the Lord has not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, there is no understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000, two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, the Lord had delivered them up? For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents, the cruel venom of asps. Isn't this laid up in store with me, sealed up among my treasures? Vengeance is mine, and recompense, at the time when their foot shall slide. For the day of their calamity is at hand. The things that are to come on them shall make haste. For the Lord will judge his people, repent himself for his servants. When he sees that their power is gone, there is none remaining, shut up or left at large. He will say, where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge, which ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them rise up and help you. Let them be your protection. See now that I, even I, am he. There is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. There is none who can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and say, as I live forever, if I whet my glittering sword, my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my adversaries, will recompense those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. My sword shall devour flesh. With the blood of the slain and the captives, from the head of the leaders of the enemy. Rejoice, you nations, with his people. For he will avenge the blood of his servants, will render vengeance to his adversaries, will make expiation for his land, for his people. Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people. He and Joshua, the son of Nun. Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. He said to them, set your heart to all the words which I testify to you this day, which you shall command your children to observe to do, even all the words of this law. For it is no vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land, where you go over the Jordan to possess it. The Lord spoke to Moses that same day, saying, go up into this mountain of Abarim, to Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and see the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel for a possession, and die on the mountain where you go up, and be gathered to your people, as Aaron, your brother, died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people, because you trespassed against me in the midst of the children of Israel, at the waters of Meribah of Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you didn't sanctify me in the midst of the children of Israel. For you shall see the land before you, but you shall not go there into the land which I give the children of Israel. This is the blessing with which Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. He said, the Lord came from Sinai, rose from Seir to them. He shined forth from Mount Paran. He came from the 10,000s of holy ones. At his right hand was a fiery law for them. Yes, he loves the people. All his saints are in your hand. They sat down at your feet. Everyone shall receive of your words. Moses commanded us a law, an inheritance for the assembly of Jacob. He was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together. Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few. This is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, the Lord, the voice of Judah. Bring him in to his people. With his hands he contended for himself. You shall be a help against his adversaries. Of Levi he said, "Your Thummim and your Urim are with your godly one, whom you did prove at Massa, with whom you did strive at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and of his mother, I have not seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brothers, nor knew he his own children. For they have observed your word, keep your covenant. They shall teach Jacob your ordinances, Israel your law. They shall put incense before you, whole burnt offering on your altar. Bless the Lord, his substance, accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of those who rise up against him, of those who hate him, that they not rise again. Of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him. He covers him all the day long. He dwells between his shoulders. Of Joseph he said, blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of the heavens, for the dew, for the deep that couches beneath, for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, for the precious things of the growth of the moons, for the chief things of the ancient mountains, for the precious things of the everlasting hills, for the precious things of the earth and the fullness of it, the good will of him who lived in the bush. Let the blessing come on the head of Joseph, on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers, the firstborn of his herd. Majesty is his. His horns are the horns of the wild ox. With them he shall push the peoples, all of them, even the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of Ephraim. They are the thousands of Manasseh. Of Zebulun he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in your going out, Issachar, in your tents. They shall call the peoples to the mountain. There shall they offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck the abundance of the seas, the hidden treasures of the sand. Of Gad he said, blessed be he who enlarges Gad. He dwells as a lioness, tears the arm, yes, the crown of the head. He provided the first part for himself, for there was the lawgiver's portion reserved. He came with the heads of the people. He executed the righteousness of the Lord, his ordinances with Israel. Of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp that leaps forth from Bashan. Of Naphtali he said, Naphtali, satisfied with favor, full with the blessing of the Lord, was possess you the west and the south. Of Asher he said, blessed be Asher with children. Let him be acceptable to his brothers. Let him dip his foot in oil. Your bars shall be iron and brass. As your days, so shall your strength be. There is none like God, Jeshurun, who rides on the heavens for your help, in his excellency on the skies. The eternal God is your dwelling place. Underneath are the everlasting arms. He thrust out the enemy from before you, said, destroy. Israel dwells in safety, the fountain of Jacob alone, in a land of grain and new wine. Yes, his heavens drop down dew. Happy are you, Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord, the shield of your help, the sword of your excellency. Your enemies shall submit themselves to you. You shall tread on their high places. Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. The Lord showed him all the land of Gilead, to Dan and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, to the hinder sea and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, to Zoar. The Lord said to him, "This is the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your seed. I have caused you to see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there." So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there, in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. He buried him in the valley, in the land of Moab, over against Beth-peor. But no man knows of his tomb to this day. Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated. The children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping in the mourning for Moses were ended. Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him. And the children of Israel listened to him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses. There has not arisen a prophet since in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, in all the signs and the wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land, and in all the mighty hand, and in all the great terror, which Moses worked in the sight of all Israel.